Alright, let's see what we can do today. We're going to do the master cylinder. Yeah, we're going to do the master cylinder. The brakes feel like... So we're going to do the master cylinder. That's the clutch slave cylinder. So the master cylinder, we're doing the master cylinder because the brakes don't feel great. They feel kind of spongy. It might just be the fluid, it might be the brake pads, but as it's a 20-year-old car and this is £50, I thought let's do the master cylinder and be doubly sure that that's not the issue. When they get to this age, the seals in here can start leaking, and it causes the pedal to feel soft and spongy, which this one does, and it doesn't brake very well. So let's get on with doing this. To start off with, take the junk out of your trunk. You have to remove the spare wheel and some of the trays. They're just a couple clips at the top. Mine are missing the clips, but so take those out. You also have to remove the screws that hide the brake reservoir and unscrew the amp. You might also have to unscrew the 6 CD change if your car came with that. And always disconnect the battery. So here you can take the little filter out and then use some sort of device to take out as much brake fluid as you can, because otherwise that stuff's going to go everywhere. So here you can see the master cylinder, the reservoir just sits on top there, the brake booster, a few connections to it, and on the other side you can see the lever that goes to your brake pedal, and that is the car horn or alarm horn. It's one of the horns. Now the reservoir just pries out. Just be careful, it's obviously made of plastic, but it is just held on tightly with some bungs. Then ideally with a flare spanner, undo the brake lines to the master cylinder. And then the master cylinder is held to the brake booster with 2 bolts. Now I'm just removing some more trim so that I can get the brake lines out of the master cylinder. So just I wanted a little bit more wiggle room there. Once you've got the 2 brake lines out, the master cylinder just simply pulls out. And now the obligatory compare the old with the new. I've put the new one in, and now I'm just tightening the brake lines back up. And that's it, and then you just put it back the way you took it apart. That part's very simple. Now the next part of this video, it was going to be a separate video, but I decided to add it onto the end of this, is going to be how you bleed your brakes if you've just done this procedure or if you just need to bleed your brakes. Alright, so this is a general guide on how to bleed your brakes, and if you just change the master cylinder, you have to do this next. To your brake reservoir, which is here. There's a little filter, which is always a pain to get out. I'm going to get some pliers. Alright, be careful not to get this stuff on your paint, because it melts it instantly. It's like acid. No, it does corrode your paint though, so just be careful. Yes, I'm trying to eat a biscuit without using my hands. Alright, so there's 2 bleed nipples on these calipers. You have to bleed both, and you start with the inside one. So bleed that one, and then there's a pipe that runs underneath here. You can see it. And goes to this side, to these 2 pistons, and you bleed whatever's remaining. It's just this little bit of pipe that might need bleeding. So this is the less important one, slightly more important one. This one has rounded, so I have bought some new bleed nipples from who knows where, I can't remember. Stainless steel ones, because I don't want this problem ever again. and we're gonna try and remove these to put the new ones on. Okay, I've just attached a bit of hose to the inner nipple. Sounds naughty. And I have one of these, again, another fancy tool, but essentially you can just do it with a cup. You don't need this. The only benefit of having this is if you attach to the other side and you've only got one set of hands, or in this case a set of legs, to pump. So this is a little vacuum pump, but if you've got someone to help you, they can just press the brake. So here you can see I use the vacuum pump. It pumps out any leftover fluid in the brakes. There we go. First one's coming out easy. It's the next one that's not. Okay, get rid of that. I'm gonna keep the rubber. Let's see if they look exactly the same. Let's hope they do. It's close enough. Alright, so that was like level 1 boss, and now you've got like level 10 boss. So it's slightly rounded. Now we've already tried this last time and we couldn't get it off. I've tried everything and I'm using the best spanner I can. Okay, 11mm socket, here we go. Oh, that's the one. Oh, it's coming out. We don't have to do any welding. That's Dad in the background, by the way. He's overseeing the procedure today. It's like grimy and rusty in there. So we're going to use this to try and suck the dirt out. I'm going to try and show you. So you can see it's dirty inside the tube itself. So we're going to try and get that out. Alright, I didn't record that, but it worked. I'm just going to get that.
Well, why didn't you record it?
Because I forgot to press the button.
Do it again. I mean, people just want to see how it's working.
Oh look, it's worked. So I continue to do that for the other 8 nipples on the car. Okay, so we've got all the new bleed nipples in. It's all drained, so time to refill. Now, what's really important, especially on these manual 986s, is to keep the fluid constantly topped up, because this pipe here is for the clutch. Now, just don't press the clutch, but really you don't want to go below this clutch line, just in case you do press the clutch, or well, that's the only reason I can think of, but just keep it topped up as much as you can whilst you're bleeding it. Now we're going to bleed this the old-fashioned way, which you can. If your car's got PASM or PSM, you need special tools, which I'll talk about at the end of this. So what you need to do is get a cup of some sort and a little bit of tube. As I said, the inner one you start with, and you're starting with this caliper, which is the furthest away from the master cylinder. So for a UK car, it's rear left, and then you go to the rear right, and then you just work your way towards the master cylinder. So you start with this, and we've got Dad in the passenger seat who's going to pump the brake for us. Get your 11mm on there. Put the hose on top. Okay, and start with everything closed. And then Dad's going to press the brake pedal.
Ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's pressed the brake pedal to the floor. I'm going to open now whilst he's got compression on it. Opened.
What's up?
And I have to close now. Close. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing there.
Yeah. Close.
This might take a little while. Yep, I'm closed.
Ready? Down.
Open.
Yeah.
Closed.
Ready? Down.
Open.
Yeah.
closed. There we go. We can see the first bit of brake fluid coming through. Yeah, closed. Yeah, open, closed, open, closed, closed, and closed. Open, closed, open, closed, open, closed. You bored yet? Now you've got the fun task of going around to each corner and doing that 8 times for each bleed nipple. You've done left rear, left front, right front, and you've ended up closest to the master cylinder. It's the other way around if you're in a left-hand drive car in America or Europe. It would be right rear, left rear. So we've done that. I've gone around twice. Put the caps back on, make sure it's all tight. And now, I'm gonna get some brake cleaner, clean the discs, make sure there's no contamination because I don't want that getting... Alright, so my main camera died and I don't have a spare battery at the moment. You don't want any contaminants getting on your discs, so get a bit of brake cleaner, clean it all up, get some clean tissue, make sure nothing touches those pads because that's how you ruin pads. And once you've done that, you can put your wheels back on and go for a little test drive around the block. Make sure that brake pedal feels nice and firm, and ideally I like it so that when the brake pedal's pressed hard, it lines up perfectly with my accelerator so I can heel and toe. Anyway, thanks for watching again. Please like and subscribe if you did. Catch you in the next one. Take it easy. Hope you can buy some fuel.